Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a camera that's genuinely making waves and getting some incredible reviews. The Fujifilm X100VX.
Yeah, it really is.
You've probably heard the buzz. Maybe you're curious about what makes a fixed lens camera, in this age of interchangeable lenses, quite so special.
Well, it's a fascinating legacy, isn't it? The Fujifilm X100 series.
Yeah,
It's really built a following among enthusiasts and pros over the years.
definitely.
And this latest one, the X100VIs, it really pushes things. You're getting picture quality and, honestly, a handling experience you'd normally find on bigger swappable lens models.
Right.
But it's all in this incredibly compact fixed lens body. It's no surprise it nabbed an Editor's Choice Award and that rare 5-star rating.
So our mission today really is to go beyond just the specs, beyond the headlines. We're going to dig into what makes the X100VS such a joy to use. Those clever design choices, the tech under the hood.
The power, yeah.
Exactly. And crucially, where it really shines for your creative vision and maybe where you might need to think about, adding an accessory or two.
Right.
Think of this as your shortcut, your guide to understanding why this camera is already on back order and if it might just be the perfect fit for how you like to shoot.
Sounds good.
The first thing you notice, visually anyway, is that aesthetic. It's got this stunning retro-industrial design, clearly pulling from those classic rangefinders like the Canonette series from the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah, you see that immediately.
But it's not just looks, is it? What does that classic style really mean for using it, for how it feels?
You're absolutely right. It's way more than skin deep. That whole design philosophy, it really shapes the handling. You're getting, top-notch construction. It feels incredibly solid. You've got a magnesium alloy frame, aluminum top and bottom plates, that nice leatherette wrap. It just feels like a proper tool, built for everyday shooting.
And it's compact.
Oh, absolutely. Just, what is it, 2.9 by 5.0 by 2.2 inches, about 1.1 pounds, slips right into a jacket pocket.
Nice.
And yeah, you get the choice.
Yeah.
That it's stealthy all black or the sort of iconic silver and black two-tone. Depends if you want to blend in or show it off a bit.
Okay, so the build sounds fantastic, but I understand there's a little nuance with the weather protection. It's got dust and splash resistance, but not fully sealed right out of the box because of the lens.
That's right. It's a valid point. That front element, the lens itself, is where dust or moisture could potentially get in.
So why do that from a design perspective?
Well, it's likely about trade-offs, right?
Okay,
Keeping that really sleek, minimal form factor. Fuji prioritized that compactness.
Okay.
So yeah, to get full dust and drip resistance, you do need to add an accessory. It's the ARX100 filter adapter and then a standard 49mm filter. And together you're looking at around, say, $100, give or take.
Right. And you mentioned a hood, too.
Yeah, a lens hood's probably a good idea as well. That fixed 23mm f2 lens, it can show a bit of flare sometimes. The official Fujifilm one, the LHX100, is about $80. But it conveniently includes that necessary adapter ring.
Oh, okay.
It's, one of the few things people consistently mention about the camera. But the good news, it uses the same accessories as the older X100 models.
But that's useful.
Yeah, so there are loads of third-party options out there, much cheaper, usually. And even things like add-on grips, like the one from Small Rig, for maybe $40 if you want a bit more purchase on it.
Gotcha. Okay, let's talk optics then, the heart of it.
Right. What's really clever here is how they get that slim body and that amazing image quality from this fixed, permanently attached lens. It's a 23mm f2 lens. Now, pair that with the new 40-megapixel APS-C sensor. That's a crop sensor, remember, not full frame, but still pretty large. And it gives you the same angle of view as a classic 35mm lens on a full-frame camera.
Ah, the 35mm equivalent. A favorite for many.
Exactly. It's just such a versatile length for documentary, street stuff, just capturing life. It encourages you to get a bit closer, be involved. Works great for small groups, environmental portraits too. And it even focuses pretty close, down to about 3.9 inches for macro work.
So that fixed length really pushes a certain way of seeing, but the lens itself has some neat tricks, right? Like the shutter.
Oh yeah. It uses a leaf shutter, which is, first off, remarkably quiet. Like really quiet.
Stealthy.
Very. And it supports incredibly fast flash sync speeds, up to 14,000th of a second.
Wow.
But here's the bit that gets really interesting, like you said.
Right.
The built-in force-stop neutral density filter. the ND filter.
Right. Explain that. For someone listening, why is a built-in ND filter such a big deal?
It's like having a superpower built into the lens.
Yeah.
It means you could shoot with a wide aperture like f2, even in bright daylight, to get that lovely shadow depth of field. Or you can drag the shutter speed way down in daylight to intentionally blur motion. Think silky smooth waterfalls, or people blurring as they walk through a street scene while the background stays sharp.
Without needing to carry extra filters.
Exactly. It just lets you be more spontaneously creative right there on the spot. You can sculpt the light and motion. It's fantastic.
Okay, so that ND filter is huge, but you still have a fixed lens. You might think that limits versatility, right? How does that big 40-megapixel sensor help?
Right. That's the clever bit. That high resolution gives you serious cropping power. The camera supports in-camera digital zoom crops.
Like a digital teleconverter?
Pretty much. You can get a 20-megapixel image that looks like it was shot with a 50-millimeter lens, or a 10-megapixel one that gives you a 70-millimeter equivalent view.
And how do you access that?
Super easy. When you're in autofocus, you just twist the manual focus ring. It cycles through them.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. And Fuji still offers those add-on conversion lenses, too. There's the WCL X100VI, which makes it a wider 28-millimeter equivalent.
Right.
Though, honestly, with the built-in digital crop for 50 millimeters, the teleconversion lens, the TCL X100VI, feels maybe less essential than it did on the older lower-res models.
Makes sense. So if you're looking at this, maybe comparing it.
Yeah.
What are the alternatives? If you want something similar, but maybe not exactly this?
Good question. If you want a fixed lens, but maybe wider, the Ricoh GR3 is an option. It's even smaller, very pocketable, with a 28-millimeter f2.8.
But no viewfinder, right?
Exactly. No eye-level viewfinder, screen only. Then, at the other end of the spectrum, you've got the luxury option, the Leica Q3.
Ah, yes, the light.
Full frame, 60-megapixel sensor, stunning 28-millimeter f1.7 lens. But, it comes with a Leica price tag, around $6,000.
Oof, yeah.
So really, when you look at the combination of the hybrid viewfinder, the APS-C sensor size, the 35-millimeter equivalent lens, the controls, the size, there isn't much else quite like the X100VII. It really carves its own niche.
Okay, let's talk about those controls. It doesn't just look retro, it feels retro to use, right, with all those dials.
Absolutely. It leans heavily into that tactile dial-driven experience. You've got the aperture ring right there on the lens barrel.
Click it.
Oh, yeah. Nice positive clicks. Then on the top plate, you have a dial that does double duty for shutter speed and ISO, and a dedicated dial just for exposure compensation.
So it's very hands-on. What's the benefit of that approach?
It's incredibly intuitive, especially if you learn photography on older film cameras. Everything's right there, visible. Each dial shows your setting. And they all have an A position for automatic if you want the camera to take over that specific setting.
Right.
The only slightly quirky one is setting the ISO manually. You have to lift up the outer ring of the shutter speed dial and turn it.
Ah, like some older cameras.
Exactly. Or you could just set that dial to C and control ISO through the camera menu, or a function button, which many people probably do. Fuji's really refined this over generations, though. It feels very polished.
And other controls, function buttons.
Yeah, you get that lovely old-school threaded shutter release, so you can use a mechanical cable release or add one of those little soft-touch buttons. Plus, there's a customizable function button near it. Defaults to eye detection, but you can change it.
Like for the ND filter.
Precisely. That's what I did when I was testing it. Makes perfect sense.
So it sounds very engaging to shoot with. What about navigating menus or changing other settings quickly? You've got other dials and buttons, too.
You do. There are front and rear command dials, which you can actually set up to control aperture and shutter speed if you prefer that over-the-top dials.
Oh, interesting. So you can choose.
Yeah, it's super customizable.
Yeah.
You also have dedicated buttons for things like AE, lock F, lock, menu, playback, and that really useful 8-way joystick for moving the focus point or navigating menus.
And the quick menu, the Q button.
Right, the Q menu. Press the Q button on the back, and up pops this grid. You can have up to 16 different settings there for instant access.
And you set those yourself.
Totally configurable. You put whatever you use most often right there. And this is really neat. You can have separate Q menus for stills and video.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, incredibly useful. And you can navigate it with the joystick, the dials, or even by touch on the screen. Very flexible.
Okay, let's talk viewfinders. This is a signature feature, isn't it? The hybrid viewfinder.
It absolutely is. It's one of the things that makes the X100 series unique. So you have the optical viewfinder mode, the OVF.
What's that like?
It gives you a bright, clear view of the world, like looking through a window, with a fixed magnification, about 0.5x. It overlays a white frame line to show you what the lens will actually capture.
Right, because the viewfinder itself sees wider than the lens.
Exactly, like a traditional rangefinder. You also get a little green box showing your focus area that moves around. Photojournalists often like this because you can see things just outside the frame, about to enter it.
Yeah.
Helps anticipate the moment.
Okay, I can see the appeal of that. And you can manually focus with it, too.
You can. There's an option where a tiny little electronic display pops up in the corner of the OVF, showing a magnified view. Or you can use digital split image, like old rangefinders or focus peaking.
But despite how cool the OVF sounds, you said you often end up using the electronic viewfinder, the EVF, more. Why is that?
Well, for me, yeah, most of the time. The EVF is just incredibly useful. It's a 3.7 million dot OLED panel, so it's super sharp. It's very smooth in standard mode. There's even a 100 frames per second boost mode if you want ultimate smoothness, so it uses more battery.
But the main advantage is
seeing exactly what you're going to get. You see the exposure preview, you see the active film simulation.
WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get.
Precisely. The OVF can't show you that. Plus, honestly, I just feel more confident about focus confirmation with the EVF, especially when I'm shooting close-up near macro distances.
The OVF struggles with close-ups.
Well, the frame lines do shift to correct for parallax error, that difference in view between the finder and the lens, but it's just less precise for really close work. The EVF shows you exactly what the sensor sees.
But the cool thing is you can switch easily.
Instantly. There's a little lever on the front of the camera. Flick it one way for OVF, the other way for EVF. No menu diving required. It's brilliant. You get the best of both worlds.
Nice. And then there's the screen on the back.
Yep, a standard 3-inch tilting touchscreen. About 1.6 million dots, so plenty sharp. Good viewing angles, adjustable brightness. Perfect for shooting from down low or up high.
But it only tilts, right? It doesn't flip out to the side or face forward.
Correct. It tilts up and down, but it doesn't fully articulate. So not ideal for selfies or vlogging if you need to see yourself.
Is that a big miss or just part of the design?
I'd say it's a necessary design choice to keep the camera so slim and compact. A fully articulating screen adds bulk. And for the kind of photographer typically drawn to this camera street, documentary, travel, the tilting screen is usually perfectly adequate. It's a trade-off most are happy to make for the size.
Makes sense. Okay. Powering all this. Battery life. What are we looking at?
It uses the NPW1106S battery, same one as the previous X100V and some other Fuji cameras.
Okay.
Performance is actually a bit better than the V. Fuji rates it for about 450 photos per charge.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah, up from 420 on the V. For video, maybe expect around an hour of 6.2K recording.
And charging.
Good news there, it charges right in the camera via USB-C.
Oh, fantastic. Power banks on the go.
Exactly. Super convenient. That said, if you're going out for a full day or on vacation, I definitely recommend grabbing a spare battery.
What do those cost?
The official Fuji one is about $60. But there are plenty of good third-party options like Wasabi Power, often cheaper.
Right, so that USB-C port is great for charging and data. What else is under that little hinged door?
You've also got a micro HDMI port for connecting to external monitors or recorders.
Okay, and I heard you can use it as a webcam.
You can indeed. It supports UVC UAC standards, so just plug it in via USB-C, and it should pop up as a high-quality webcam for calls or streaming.
Pretty handy. Any quirks with that?
Just one little thing to be aware of. You need to make sure the camera is either actively recording video or you have to go into the menus and disable the auto power off feature.
Why is that?
Otherwise, if the camera sits idle for too long according to its power-saving timer, it might just shut off mid-call.
Which could mess things up.
Yeah, especially if you're using its mic, you could get audio sync issues. Just something to remember to set beforehand.
Got it. And wireless, connecting to a phone.
Yep, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are built in. Works with the Fujifilm X app on your phone or tablet.
For transferring photos.
Yep, transferring photos, remotely controlling the camera, seeing a live view, changing settings, triggering the shutter, and even doing firmware updates over the air.
Did you test the firmware updates?
I did, yeah. Worked smoothly. Took maybe 6 minutes or so for a full update. Pretty painless.
Good.
Yeah.
And memory cards, where does it go? What does it take?
The card slot is down in the battery compartment. Take standard SD cards, SD, SDHC, SDXC.
Fast ones, UHS-2.
No, that's one slight limitation.
Yeah.
It only supports the older UHSI speeds.
Does that matter much in practice?
Well, it's perfectly fast enough for writing single shots and even for recording that high-res 6.2K video. Where you might notice it is in continuous burst shooting.
How fast can it shoot?
It can do 11 frames per second with that quiet leaf shutter, or up to 20 frames per second using the electronic shutter.
Okay, and the buffer?
It can manage about 20 shots in lossless compressed RAW format before the buffer fills up.
And then it has to write them.
Right. And with UHSI speeds, clearing that buffer takes around 15 seconds.
Which could feel like a while if you're waiting to shoot again.
Exactly. So while it's not a deal breaker for most people buying this kind of camera, UH's ECI support would have been nice to speed up those buffer clearing times.
Okay, performance deep dive, autofocus. How is it?
It's really very competent.
Yeah.
Uses that new X Processor 5 engine, so it's got some smarts.
Fast. Accurate.
Yeah. It supports both single shot and continuous autofocus across almost a whole sensor area. Face and eye detection for people works really well.
Easy to control.
Very. You can pick different sizes for the focus box, and that little 8-way joystick on the back is perfect for quickly moving the focus point exactly where you want it.
Does it do subject tracking, like animals or cars?
It does. It has specific subject recognition modes you can select. Airplanes, animals, automobiles, birds, quite a few.
So it can handle action.
I mean, let's be clear. It's not designed to be a primary sports or fast-action wildlife camera. You'd want something else for that. But for everyday stuff, candids, pets, people moving around, in my testing, it consistently delivered sharp in-focus shots. Very reliable.
Good to know. Okay, back to that lens and sensor combo. 23mm f2, 40 megapixels. How sharp is it really?
It's incredibly sharp. Tests show it resolves outstanding detail, even wide open at f2.
Wow.
And it gets even better stopped down slightly, between f2.8 and f5.6. Really impressive performance.
Does it get softer at smaller apertures?
Yeah, like all lenses, diffraction starts to soften the image slightly once you get past about f8. But honestly, with that built-in ND filter...
Right, you don't often need to stop down that far in bright light.
Exactly. You can keep the aperture wider for sharpness and use the ND filter to control the light.
What about things like sun stars for landscape shooters?
Yep. If you do stop down to f16, you can get that nice, distinct 18-point sunstar effect around bright lights like the sun setting or street lamps.
Cool. But you mentioned flare earlier.
Yeah, at wider apertures, especially without a hood, it can sometimes catch stray light and flare a bit. So that accessory hood is definitely recommended if you shoot into the light often.
Okay. Now, something huge for this model. In-body image stabilization. IBIS. 6 stops of it. Why is it such a big deal?